What's going on, everyone? Welcome back to the channel. Mostly Gaming here, and today I'm back with another episode of account coaching series. And this will be episode number 3 after Chef Keys, who was my old friend from back in 2811, who is now here at 2939, by the way. And also Seno, who was a very active member of my Discord channel, as well as my kingdom. And he asked me for advice on his account, and I posted a video about his stuff. I think 2 days ago, yesterday, and then after watching Sando's video, one of our other kingdom mates, TheKevin, actually reached out to me and said, "Hey, like, can you also do an account coaching for mine?" Because he had a lot of questions about his account, and I was like, "Why not?" I thought it was a good opportunity for me to make more contents, for one, and then for him to actually, have a little bit of help from outside perspective. By all means, I'm not the most expert. Just to give you all warnings and disclaimers, I'm not the most expert in Rise of Kingdoms, to be really honest with you. But I do have a little bit more experience than I think some people, especially on rallying garrison stuff. And yeah, and I'm making contents for Rise of Kingdoms, so I try to stay up to date on things like predictions and stuff. So he was very generous of me to entrust his account directions with me, as well as giving me permission to make this video. So thank you, Kevin, for actually letting me do this. But without further ado, let's just take a look at how long this guide is. You can see that it's 21 pages. And it's going to be pretty intense. I'm not going to lie. It's going to be a little bit longer than Seno because Seno was pretty straightforward already. He had 4 marches. The only thing that was blocking him from actually performing better on the field was actually just the gold heads and materials and probably armaments. And those you really don't get to control yourself. But the Kevin actually had some more suggestions that I can make, which was good for the content. And I took like yesterday like an hour to actually put these together. So these will be a little bit more detailed for those of you who are watching this after Senna's video. But without further ado, the Kevin, my good teammate, kingdom mate, whatever it is that we should call it, Ottoman Empire, 78 million, 79 million power almost. If he just fills up, clears out his hospital and stuff, and 2.1 billion kill points, decent. And what his primary goal that he told me was that he wants to solidify the 5 march lineup, which is good. And then the 6 march suggestion for the future, which is a secondary kind of thing that I'm gonna also suggest towards the later part of the video. And also at the same time, he had 517 gold heads, which is good, which is a little bit more than what Seno had. And that is very close to being able to expertise a single commander, which gives us a little bit more wiggle room to work around in terms of new commander introductions. And then other commanders that he has, Herman Prime 5551, which is okay. Joan of Arc Prime 5335. So he wasn't as lucky as Seno, who actually was able to land 5 points on Joan of Arc Prime's 3rd skill. And then he had Alex and Yuche and Nisangye Arthur expertise, aside from the commanders that I'm about to show you. So just for those of you who are watching, just keep those all in mind. And without further ado, I actually took a bunch of screenshots from my phone, so if you guys are seeing the little bit of quality drop, that's because of that. But Alexander Nevsky, I think this is his calf number 2. He has decent set of inscriptions. Good stats overall. I think 21% is nice with the good enough of a defense and health. Because at the end of the day, attack's not going to matter too much. He can reroll some of those. I think he's probably missing 3 attack rolls. But it is his second cavalry set. He's using the Hellfire set helmet and then the epic chest and actually the green weapon, which is actually really good, by the way. This gives you defense and health. 9% defense and health, and then once expertise, this will actually give you about 12% defense and health. which is arguably better than just having untalented epic weapon. So, and throughout the video, I'll just go ahead and also give the suggestions on which order that his equipment should be built on. But let's just move on. And his gloves, his Ash of the Dawn, and then his boots. And he has a Silent Trowel credit for infantry, though. So that's something that I actually suggested later down the road, but let's just go ahead and move on. And then the unit capacity accessory. Yeah, so that's his first, or the second cavalry set. Let's just go ahead and move on to Zhuge Liang. Alright, this is nice. You can see that he has basically the full health, like max health set with ring and march speed, which is really good for archers, which will need a lot of march speed to basically run away from calves at the end of the day. A very good weapon. Hydra's Pro is amazing. 25% defense. It's just crazy that other troop type actually gets attack and then archers get defense. And then he's rocking on the revival helmet, which is talented, but I think he's probably waiting for material accumulation for that KVK helmet for archer. I think, which is what he told me. Armors look pretty nice with a lot of movement speed, 3.4%, and 2% all damage. So it's almost like he has every single roll into the right places except for one cavalry attack. I'm assuming it's because he has some of those, like inscriptions that are just too good to pass by for those. Balance is nice. Craze is good. I think Craze is the first slot that gives you Rage, which is a very good armament inscription. Fearsome and Infamy. I think Fearsome gives you all damage, and then Infamy gives you attack. So all really, really good inscriptions for you to actually work from. Now, Ho Chibi. In terms of equipment, nothing I can say. He just needs a ring, and that's basically what I run. He has a credit horn, which is amazing. The credit horn is going to give you the most value. Armaments on the wedge, though, he can maybe work on for his first cavalry set. Craze is good. He has 3 rare inscriptions and 3 common inscriptions. That means that a lot of double rolls. And then fit is going to give you a lot of health, 3.5%. 3.5% from spite, I think. And then cohesive, I think cohesive gives you like damage. So all in all, this is 15.5%, 21.5% with 2.6% march speed. So 21.5%. Is that 21.5? No, yeah, 21.5%, and then 7% additional, so 28% total stats, which is really good, and some march speed, and then he has some room for him to actually just go ahead and roll those out from the march speed for archers and barbarians, and this should be really good except for special inscriptions. That's the only thing that is missing, but I know that special inscriptions, those are limited for most people in terms of access. So if he has hunter, I think he should get hunter, and so on. V formation. So he has really good V formation. You can see that he has 12% health running on siege health, which is amazing because that's almost max roll, guys. Like, I think 13.5% is the total max health, defense, and attack that you can get. So the fact that he is only missing 1.4% from that is amazing. Not to mention all those really good inscriptions that he has. Vitality, 3.5% health just right off the bat. I think this blood, whatever, gives you a lot of normal damage. Ballistics also give you, I think, V formation normal damage. Retaliation gives you counterattack damage. War Cry gives you, I think, attack. I might be wrong on that one, or all damage. Shield gives you 3.5% defense. So 7% defense slash health on top of everything that he has. Oof. Very, very good. And it really helps that he has those inscriptions that will give you ranged normal damage. And he's using Gaj Armada, which will be using ranged normal damage. And he's just missing the chest piece for this, except that he has it on blue, which is really good. I'm sure he's working on those. Not probably the most important priority at this point because he already has 4 set piece bonus, I think, from the helmet, gloves, pants, and boots. And I think the weapon kind of counts separately on that. But yeah, so not a too urgent open update. I think he has amazing range, Marsh. So let's just go ahead and move on. I'm assuming he's using it with Gonzalez. Scipio Prime. So he has this one really, really good infantry set that has Hunter, Fit, Wary, and Focus Fire. Hunter's really nice. Hunter is probably the best for whatever he has, whatever he can get in terms of the legendary special inscriptions, because those are actually acquirable through KVK. He has a lot of movement speed. And then Fit and Wary gives you 3.5% health, which is the best stats for infantry. Wary is, I think, all damage. Focus Fire is going to give you skill damage. So all in all, very, very good. Very solid. In fact, if those are all smite damage or arch, I think he can potentially even garrison at some point in KVKs. So this is really, really good. Like, not the main garrison, obviously, because he doesn't have some of those talented, and he doesn't have ring and horn talented and whatnot. But yeah, these are really, really good. Iconic 4 pants are nice. Iconic 4 helmet is also nice. Hope Cloak credit is nice. All in all, very, very strong set. I think the strongest set he has so far. Yeah, probably one of the strongest set that he has so far. So his infantry is really, really invested in. And he also has arch formation, which I asked specifically. Hey, like, do you have any arch or pincer formation built out already? And then he sent me this, which is really nice. Robust, 3.5%. Striker, 3.5% attack, 3.5% health. So this is going to give you like 15.9%. And then, so 21%, so 28% plus with 2% smite damage from smite, or normal damage from smite. And then alert and primed. I'm not too sure what they do, but it's still pretty good enough for arch formation to keep in mind, because I'm going to actually give him suggestions based on this. Again, just a little reminder of the fact that he wants to solidify 5 March lineup, which I'll go ahead and give him the best suggestion that I could give at this point from my perspective. And then he's going to try to work on his 6 March. And then 517 gold heads. And then Herman, Joan, and expertise status are basically as I said before. Now, the first optimization that I actually asked him to make is, hey, like, move your Zhuge Liang's ring onto Huo, because your Huo's equipment is amazing. So, and in fact, because he has Arthur, he can actually run Huo Arthur with probably the best set that he can has, especially with this critted horn. Because Huo thrives on generating as much, having like rage cap reduce, which will make him fire off the skills a lot more often. And then on top of that, if he can actually get the Zhuge Liang's ring, he can just come in and out of fight very, very quickly. Just like how I was able to actually get Huo Arthur rolling really, really well. So yeah, I'll just say move the Zhuge Liang's ring onto Huo and then just be done with this set, because you're almost complete with this one. You don't have to touch it from here onward unless you want the expertise and talented later down the road. But you have other priorities, so just use this. Alexander Nevsky, I told him to basically move this Silent Trail, which is good, but it's actually credit for infantry, right? So why give it on Alexander Nevsky if infantry can use it? Especially because I will actually ask him to use Liu Che Alex instead. Then he will be able to benefit from extra attack that you'll be able to give from this. And get the banner, get the March speed accessory from Ho Chi Bing, and then give this one, the unit capacity one, to not Archer. This is wrong. Unit capacity one to God's Armada, which will actually be able to utilize the unit capacity pretty well. So slight adjustments in terms of our accessories, which I'll show you in an overall summary later today too. And then Archer, I was like, hey, oh wait, hold on, that was wrong. Okay, I think this is not supposed to be there. Okay, let's just go ahead and go back to the screenshot. Okay, so for immediate changes, I think you should just swap out the ring because march speed is still valuable, and you can see that I I couldn't find the leadership gear on the builder that I had because I think they was rolled out really long time ago. Let me actually just lower my thing a little bit so that you can actually see what I'm trying to show here. Okay, my apologies for my avatar actually hiding a lot of stuff. But yeah, so actually, you know what? Just get the horn from the siege because you had the horn on the siege, which is nice, but not as priority as a Zugelian. And then the banner, march speed banner from Zugelian. So I think that's pretty good. Because of the fact that you need march speed to run away from calves anyways. Alright, and then I asked him, hey, like, Scipio Africanus is really good. But you should probably consider moving the Silent Child here and then move that dagger somewhere else because you already this is infantry exclusive march speed accessory. And then Silent Child is actually credit for infantry too. So just might as well make the best usage out of those two and then move this to cavalry so you can actually use that for cavalry too, especially in the future when you can actually build for combo. But eventually I think he's gonna have to dismantle this one, but that's basically what I would recommend. And then Gajamada, I just asked him to just move out the horn and then just replace it with the march speed, which is fine. And all in all, it kind of looks like this. So immediate optimization. So you can see that I actually asked him, okay, cavalry said just move the horn from Archer, and then he should, like this, you don't need to touch from here onward. Like this is all optimized. And then cavalry, you'll have march speed, and then the second cavalry set, you'll have march speed, and then dagger. Dagger is okay, to be really honest with you. Like, you know, cavalry is going to hit your enemies a lot faster because of the fact that you have march speed. So you might have your second cavalry march basically trigger this a lot more quickly and stuff. So it's just fine. Infantry, epic set though on the accessories. I know that some people might actually think this is downgrade, but those are all credit for infantry, and only infantry can actually use this fully. So I actually gave him the credit infantry the accessories there, and then Archer. So Archer's gonna get basically the horn instead of the ring that he gave to the foe, and from the siege, and then siege is gonna actually utilize the larger unit capacity, which for siege it doesn't matter as much. I know that the rage generation for horn is gonna be really important for siege, but so yeah, so this is basically the immediate optimization suggestions that I actually gave him, and it looks a lot cleaner. You can see that his cavalry set is basically complete. His cavalry number 2 is as good as it can get. Infantry, we're getting the accessory bonus that we didn't really have before, and then Archer, we have horn, which is the most important part. And then the march speed is gonna be nice for Archer, so no need to actually immediately change those as well. And for equipment priority, I said your first priority should be give horn to everyone, right? Infantry first set should actually have the horn, like that's your number one priority. So you have to give your infantry first set horn, and then give your cavalry number 2 horn, replacing the march speed for both of them. And then if you have materials and time, he looks like he's pretty invested in the siege march. So I said, hey, like if you're really invested in siege march, you can actually invest in the horn for siege march too, but just get rid of the unit capacity because the counterattack damage reduction for siege is actually really really OP in my opinion. And then I said, hey, work on drums on non-main marches. So non-main marches mean that like if you're not thinking about rallying or garrisoning, drums are a little bit better than running on march, open field march, anyways. So if you have rings already crafted, that's fine. But if you have opportunities to get your hands on drums, at least give it to anything that has combo damage like Liu Che and Alex and stuff, so that you can actually trigger it a lot more often for your whole group. Now, drum candidates, I said, hey, work on your infantry getting drums because Liu Che combo proc. But if it crits, give it to cavalry number 2 because I think your cavalry number 2 is going to be a combo march eventually. So if you crit for the long term, you have to give it to cavalry at the end of the day because Liu Che's combo is good, but then again, it's not going to be as good as his future combo for cavalry. So if he crits, I think he should get it for cavalry is what I said. And then archer number 1. Drums on archer, just regeneration. I don't think anyone really disagrees with not giving him anything. And non-accessory accessory priorities, I think he should give cavalry number 2 a chest piece, which is the set piece that will give you health instead of attack that he's currently getting. And then archer number 1's helmet, which is going to be a KVK1 helmet. Season of Conquest helmet, which is going to basically complete his archer set almost. And then cavalry number 2's weapon. I'll give him a set weapon. I told him to give him a set weapon because you need blueprints of his other ones, like the Sacred Dominions, to actually upgrade Sacred Dominion, right? So having 2 cavalry sets means that you have to probably use the weapon and helmet from the cavalry set, and then utilize your other blueprints on your main cavalry march, so that you don't have to double your blueprint requirements for those, and just be done with it. I think that's how most people would actually play it. That's how I would suggest that you should play it. But that's basically what I did, and this is the ultimate goal that I gave him. Right, first work on your infantry horn, and then work on your cavalry horn. And then if you want, you can also give Gajamada another horn. So, but there was a question mark because that's not as important. And then work on your drum for your very first infantry, and then give it to your second cavalry. But only if it crits. It will actually go before infantry. And then give it to your archer, and then archer will be finished, right? And then let's see, where's 7? And then cavalry can get the set piece chest, and then the KVK helmet, which will be basically the complete set for archers, and then give your cavalry the set weapon, and everyone will be happy. All legendary pieces, maybe, and then work on Kajamada's chest piece. So ultimate goal for the 5 march equipment setup. I know it's going to take him a long time for accumulating all the materials, but there are some materials that he can actually get from dismantling some things like the dagger, which I don't think is going to be really well used in the future. So yeah, if you want to dismantle your dagger because you're replacing the dagger with something else, I think you should definitely look into actually dismantling those. And then armament. So I gave him first priority, work on a perfect pincer set, because I think pincer is gonna be inevitable meta at the end of the day for field fighters. You have to use a current arch set right now for your infantry number 1 with Liu Chen and Alex, but slowly work towards pincer as we wait for Bai Chi, and then run a Bai Chi Liu Chen is basically my recommendation for armament. And then build an arch or delta set. He already has it apparently. I actually he told me that he was working on Delta or Arch for cavalry, which is nice. But I took a look at it. He can basically refine it a little bit. It's basically what I would recommend for his combo damage. Commander with Arthur plus Alpha, but he can work on it pretty slowly though. And because the next combo attack damage commander is gonna be coming in like a year or so, or at least like 6 to 9 months. So it's not really something that he has to really focus on at immediately. But the Bai Chi Liu Che is the number 1 priority. So focus on getting Arch Pincer and Wedge on his dispatch is what I recommended, so that he can slowly build up his set towards cavalry that does combo damage. Currently, the Arch is the best in my opinion, but could change with new commander for cavalry release in 6 to 9 months. So I think working on either Arch or combo Delta is probably good, but it's gonna be a little bit of a long-term project for him as well. And immediate change for his lineup, I told him for infantry first set, I think he should stop using Scipio Prime. And just if you have Alex Uche, he should just use it with Arch set that he has, and then build up towards that Bai Chu that's gonna release immediately in like next month or so, probably since they already released the information on him, and then just use your 517 gold heads and then max him as soon as possible is basically what I recommended. And then for his 6th March, this is a long-term project. Obviously, I think the 6th March is going to be infantry. Given that he has Scipio Prime Max, if he doesn't have Guan Yu, then it'll be a little bit of a tough investment. But if you can have Guan Yu at 5155, I have 5255 Guan Yu. He's been running fine. He can still run it. If you have the Ragnar Prime build, then he can use it as well. But 6 March should be infantry for him, in my opinion. Skill damage dealing infantry at this point. But I think if he can use Guan Yu and Guan Yu Scipio, if he even has like 5111 Guan Yu, I think he should use it for the field, just to do the AoE silence. And then, I personally run full blue and purple set Guan Yu Scipio on the field just because he does silence. That's the only use that I'm using it with. So, and that basically makes my murder ball strong. Not necessarily, it's the best set. I just don't have materials to invest in my 5th March, 6th March infantry set when I have to work on my cavalry first set and then cavalry second set, to be honest. But by him, Guan Yu being in the mix and then just being able to do silence AoE, I think that's just doing the job that he's really meant to be. And I don't even run T5s on him. I just run T4s on him because of the fact that you just need to silence AoE, and that's all my March is doing with Guan Yu Scipio. So yeah, that's what I'm suggesting him right here. And then commander priority. So give your infantry best set to Liu Chen and Alex, and set your gold heads for Bai Chi. Liu Chen and Alex is probably the best combo that you can actually have, and than what you're doing with Scipio Prime. I don't know which other commander that he has that he's using with Scipio Prime, but I just told him just use Liu Chen Alex for now, and then use those until Bai Chi comes to the game, and then immediately expertise him. First priority, 100%. I don't think there's really no argument about it. And then I said, hey, if you have time after that, or if you have gold heads left over after that, try to get John Prime to 5x55. But no need to expertise. I think Joan of Arc Prime could potentially get outclassed pretty soon. So we'll have to see. But Joan of Arc Prime, I said, just don't expertise it if you can. Just get her to 5x55. 5155 ideally. And then you should be good to go. I think that's what Joan of Arc Prime's skill should be, right? Let me just take a look at it. Because I have her expertise. I haven't really taken a look at it for a very long time. Joan of Arc Prime. No. No, it should be. This is wrong. So my apologies. 55x5. Yeah. My apologies. So it should be 5515 as much as possible. And then he should be done with it. Save up gold has to make better informed decisions about archer and leadership releases because at the end of the day, right now we're running Zhuge Liang Herman Prime, and Herman Prime is 5551. Well, Kevin is. But what if the next archer commander is actually a skill damage commander instead of healing commander, which is going to be right after Bai Chi? Then he has to work on the healing commanders potentially. But if it is skill damage commander, then getting those. Actually, let me just go back a little bit. So, if the next commander is healing commander, he probably won't have to invest in it immediately. But if it is a skill damage commander, then he might have to consider investing some gold tests on it. So I would say just don't expertise Herman Prime because like right now you don't really have use for him. Like being expertise versus 5551. And then the next leadership release can actually change the whole thing, right? Like what if they release another Philip that you can use with basically Zhuge Liang, right? So who knows? So just wait after you basically are finished with those two projects and then make more better informed decisions on that. And that's pretty much it. Actually, it was a lot shorter than I thought. You can see that I made 21 pages PowerPoint for it. But yeah, I hope, Kevin, thank you for letting me make a video off of it, off of your account, as well as your setup. I hope this was really helpful for those of you who are watching. And honestly, yeah, I was having a blast actually making this video and making those PowerPoint, to be really honest with you. So it was a win-win for everyone. Hope you guys found this video helpful. If you guys did, go ahead and drop a thumbs up and subscribe to the channel because there's a lot of more contents like this that I'm going to post from here onward. And also at the same time, if you want to join the Discord and then send your stuff for the next episode, I'll be more than happy to take a look at your account. And as always, I'll see you all on the next video. Thank you. Bye-bye.